Go ahead.
Call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, March 19th. And we actually do a roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so member Todd, she did contact me. She won't be here today. Member McKay. Here. Member Duarte. Here. Secretary Sutton, she also did contact me, won't be with us. Vice Chair Threckle.
Here.
And Chairman Griffiths.
Yeah.
I don't think your meeting's recording. It's shut off.
Okay, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you want to record the meeting?
Okay. Adoption of agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Did you want to record the
I
meeting?
make a motion, we adopt the agenda. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public forum. Any member of the, I guess I could read this. Any member of the public may address the irrigation committee on any matter within the jurisdictional authority of the irrigation committee. Public members desiring to provide comments must be recognized by the committee chairman and speak from the podium. Comments must be directed only to the irrigation committee. The public should address the irrigation committee members during the public meetings as chairman, vice chairman, secretary, or member, followed by the committee member, individual last name.
So I just want to make a special announcement, and I see there's a bunch of people on the Zoom and there's some extra people in the room. If you have a comment on when irrigation season should begin or end, I'd ask that you bring that up under action item 6. So under public forum, it'd be anything that does not fall underneath when irrigation season would start or end. So I do see a hand up online, but you can look in the room, Chairman Griffiths beforehand.
Okay.
Did you want to record the meeting?
Mr. Paul, where's Paul?
Yeah, did you want to record the meeting? Did you
Hello? Ray Paul?
Turn your speakers on.
Mr. Crowe. That's Pro.
Who?
Mr. Pro.
Where?
Ray Paul.
Everything should be right.
Change his name.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Cherise, since we see you're unmuted, can you just say something really quick to ensure that our volume is good here?
Okay, I'm unmuted right now.
Yep, volume is perfect.
Hello?
Says turn up volume.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. No, John, I'm just trying to show you something right there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if that helps or not.
But it's,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Can hear you now, but perfect.
Hello? Okay,
Thank
Okay.
you.
Can you hear me now?
Now, Mr. Paul, go ahead.
Are you going to record the meeting?
It is being recorded.
Oh, because it said it shut off.
It's recording.
Okay.
Did you have a comment for public forum, sir?
No, I was just letting you know that it says the recording was shutting off. I was just giving you information.
Thank you.
Okay, I wasn't here for the last meeting, but approval of minutes, February 20th. Probably be nice if someone who was here made a motion to approve the minutes. I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Not minutes, not those gentlemen. We're in minutes. So we have a motion.
Do we have a second? Okay, moved and seconded to approve the minutes of February 20th. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, approve the minutes of February 20th. Informational reports, water resources update. Is that
Yeah.
you, Adam?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, so it's, we, basically what we did, is we put together where Stumpy is now, we put together a water supply budget, our forecast model. So it just shows that chart what we can expect inflow, until the end of the water year, which is September 30th, 2024. So there's 95% chance we receive 7,300 acre feet, all the way up to 10% chance we'll receive 145,000 acre feet. So it's a pretty big range. That's typically, what we can see. So based on that model, and what we see in Stumpy, right now, there's no projected restrictions for, irrigation season, no allotment reductions or anything like that. We should be able to meet our demands for the season. So moving down from there, Alexa and I have been giving this update the last couple board meetings and irrigation meetings, just a precipitation outlook and the temperature outlook for the upcoming 30 to 90 days. Like we discussed before, there's a chance of a little more increased precipitation the next 30 days. This was last prepared on the February 29th. So we have already spanned about 20 days of that. We've had some, we'll certainly have a little more coming up next week or so, a little bit. One thing that hasn't changed is the 90-day outlook. That's been equal chances, a little bit above average for temperature moving forward into April and May. So that's remained constant. So kind of the bottom of that kind of summarizes it up, where, the watershed is, American River watershed as a whole is 86% of average. The closest snow survey location is Robb's Valley, which is on between the top of Heartless and the valley, Ice House Road. That's at 98%. For comparison, last year we were at 154% of average. So we had much more snowpack last year than we did this year within a similar elevation range of the Pilot Creek watershed. So that's why I was just bringing that up, and then at the end, staff look at the different numbers here, looking at what we foresee, the historical averages we've seen, and historically where we've been this time of year in the past. Staff is looking for a May 1st to September 30th irrigation season. That's what we would recommend based on the research we've done.
Okay, thank you. Adam. So that's informational reports, action on review, current and future. Yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah, go ahead.
there's a few more informational items.
Oh, okay.
So informational item B was the irrigation season application response update. This was requested by one of the board liaisons. So we have an update of all the customers we had last year. 18 of those customers have yet to send in their applications. And this would equal a total of 21 inches from last year that will not be served. We did get 3 requests to activate an inactive service. So that would include three additional inches. We had 5 customers that are requesting to receive less water, which would equal 3.5 less inches. 4 customers requesting more water, in the amount of 3.5 inches. 8 customers are losing irrigation for non-payment from the prior season.
Wow.
That would be 8 inches total. We have 362 returning customers so far. There's 501 inches that have been requested as of this year. Last year, we had 518.5 inches sold. So we're approximately 17.5 inches less than last year. These are not final numbers, but this is final as of yesterday. So people still have time to get their information in. They still have until we start. And so people still could be doing it, and those 8 customers still have time to pay until the start of the season. So this is just kind of a running total of where we're at. So doing pretty good. Still have some people that are outstanding or have not. So the 18 that are outstanding still may send in their applications. Anybody have any questions about those numbers? Chairman Griffiths, I see a hand from one of the board liaisons. Board liaison.
me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot my question. Oh, yeah. How are the certifications coming in for the backflow preventers? All those people that have been accepted as customers, have they gotten the certifications in?
That's a question I have to get back to you on.
Oh, okay.
We've received quite a bit. I don't have the exact number though, but they slowly trickle in.
And we have been sending notifications as we receive those through email, through water.
Are we still gonna not turn on their service if they
Correct.
don't have the certification?
That's correct.
So you're sending an email through WaterSmart if you've received them?
Basically, if we received applications, I believe if we received the backflows, right?
I talked with Steph, she's been handling it.
I'm pretty sure we should be sending out notifications. I know it's a process. This is our first year of doing it, so bear with us, but we are trying to notify customers. Huh?
I said, I haven't heard nothing.
When did you do your backflow?
30 days ago.
So it might still be coming. It takes us a little while to get the certification, and then once we process it, to get into the system, so.
Is the tester doesn't take 30 days to get it to us by law, so sometimes a little bit of time for us to actually receive it.
We'll see, I'll check and see if yours has been received.
Thank you. So I know if I have to beat him back again.
I check and make sure she paid for it first.
I'm going to.
It's already paid for. It's just whether or not he sends them or not. It's
We
always
will, I will verify. We're trying. This is definitely something we're doing new is
It's always
sending
the
out
debate.
notifications.
Oh, can you check on mine too? Cause I can't remember.
For you, Bill, anything.
Well, he will check on mine.
I will check on yours first.
All right, thank you.
And, oh, I just found out yours does not come in yet. Cause you don't have service. Thank you.
Okay. Who tipped him off? He didn't do all of that by himself, did he?
Okay, if you'd like me to move on to the next informational report. It was something that was brought up last time was the continuous use clause of the ordinance, and this has to do with one of the clauses within the ordinance states that all customers have to keep their valve on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not 365 days a year, but for the entire season. There was a cost that wanted to be associated with this, and so we did some research, and it's approximately $2,000 to $5,000 per month that it costs each of the ditches. So there's 3 main ditches. You have the Kelsey ditch, you have the main ditch, and I'm sorry, what's the last name? Upper Canal. So all of those, when people turn their services on and off without, during the season, and they're trying to turn their service on and off by themselves, it's costing the district approximately $2,000 to $5,000 per month to have our operators go out and check and do work and fix and readjust and reset how much water is going to each of the services. So that was a question that came up at the last committee meeting, so we wanted to bring that information back.
And then,
Yeah, go ahead.
and then that cost is one. But when people have turned their water off and the ditches are overflowing and causing damage.
It'd be harder to quantify, but there is definitely that is happening.
Yeah.
Do we keep a tracking of,
It's hard to like do a cause and effect, right, every single time.
Right.
But yeah, we do keep a track if we have an overflow or something like that, and with the maintenance that goes into repairing that, yeah, that's tracked with the regular daily activity.
right,
It's hard to like, have those.
I understand, I'm looking for, how can we minimize the ditch tenders out there running ditches if they don't need to be, because someone's flipping, because they've been told by somebody else, they've gotten bad information, they do whatever they wanna do, whatever the case is, that they're supposed to leave that water on 24/7, not. And if there's a cause and effect there, and that's,
It's education, educate as much as we can.
yeah, so one of the things I was wondering too is, do we have more problems on one leg, whatever you wanna call it? of ditches where that is happening more often, our neighborhood, but,
I think typically pipelines, we'd see that more often than open canals.
Oh.
These pipelines are easier for someone to, turn the valve off typically.
but you see what I'm saying? It's, what's your call outs on each leg?
So we,
Is there a one leg that's more predominantly having issues? that
Off
we-
the top of my head, it would probably be the main, like the, because that's the longest stretch, right? It goes from
Right.
town all the way down into Pilot Hill. And that's, I think, well, we've got Garden Valley Pipeline block too, but
So we did break it down in the November, or back in my operations report, I broke it down to cost per, route.
for total maintenance,
But for total maintenance, that's not specifically direct call result, that's total maintenance for each route. I did break that down in the November, but it's not to that.
but if you look at the daily maintenance, if you're talking about, turning valves on, turning valves off, doing quick checks, going to make sure everybody has water, it's about $90,000 a year for the whole system. Now, to break that out, it would be a little bit more difficult because they're doing more than one system at a time to
Right.
do all those. So it's literally reading through all the notes and determining where they were at and what they were doing, but if you look at the system as a whole, it's about $90,000.
So does that cartograph
That is through cartograph.
It is.
drilling it down
Yeah.
to when you guys have call outs because of someone not getting water, someone.
Mhm.
And so that, at some point, can that information be drilled down to everything on this Kelsey line?
Yeah, so
and
that-
all the calls on that Kelsey line, and then tick, 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 tick.
But it's total maintenance on the whole line, so we don't break it down to like the smallest common denominator. It's like I was trying to say is we have a maintenance cost, so if they're working on something and they're doing clearing. Or they're fixing or adding or doing some work on a specific line,
Hmm.
then we have that. When they do their daily drive to make sure that everything is working and to check like the Cherry Acres Canal, they check the pipelines. That's all grouped to do a bigger classification called the daily checks.
Yeah, but if they find something,
So if they get a call out, so if it kind of breaks out different ways, so we have request and task.
right,
Requests are typically a customer calling the office and saying, hey, I have this issue, and then we send out an operator. They create a task from that request, and that we could track that, yes.
and then when they're going out and they run across something,
They just create a task and just do the work.
so
it's
then
not really-
they create a separate
Yeah.
task to,
Yeah,
that
but-
there's an issue of
Yeah,
the
But-
ditch is running over, or somebody's
right.
got water off and it's doing its little overflowing routine or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what he's trying to say is it doesn't necessarily say that it's because of an overflow or because of this, it's just lumped into maintenance. Does that make sense? So it's not as specific as, did somebody leave their water on or did somebody turn their water off? Are we overflowing? Does that make sense? Or-
Yeah, I was
It's
just
hard- it's
trying to
really
figure,
hard to-
is there a way to track, which ditches are costing us the most money?
It would.
And how can we go out there and minimize the cost to the district on that line? So if Cherry Acres is costing us $30,000 a season and it's the most expensive one, then how can we analyze that and make it where it's not $30,000, where the cost to the district is significantly less? And that's kind of the end result. Would be nice if we could come up with something like that.
I think it's doable. I think it's time consuming and we would have to go through and read through all the notes of every call out and then kind of doing a manual like this
But
one.
don't they put it in?
But they don't put it in as that. So they don't put it in as an overflow or they don't put it in as somebody turned their water off. They do it as general maintenance. So it could be lumped with other things. That's what I'm doing.
Could there just be checkboxes on that report? I mean, what kind of report is it? Is
It's
it
a-
a handwritten report or is it a automated one?
It's a,
Digital.
It is digital?
Cause maybe, if we could. Something where it'd be easier for the field guy to just click the thing that okay, there's an overflow here, or that we're gonna have to do extra work on. to trigger, you know,
And so then what do you do with the information? So you get are you going to find the people? Or are you going to, so
Well,
if
if
it's
it
gonna cost you $20,000, say, to change the app and human hours and,
well, if we don't do anything, the problem continues and nothing happens. So if you outlay a slightly more to find the problem and correct them, then maybe you don't have those at a later date. Cause like anything, if you ignore it, it's just gonna keep getting worse. And like what, you know, we kind of found last month was that people were being told specifically on certain legs that they don't have to keep their water running 24/7. But then once we talked to an operator, found out, yeah, it does have and then maybe we need to re-educate that whole leg on, you still have to do 24/7, whether there's a pond there or not. There is causing more maintenance for our crew to go out there and do extra work. So you get a slight benefit where it's not overflowing a ditch, but you're not overflowing the lake.
you could probably get some information just by asking the people that are doing the maintenance. Is a portion of it preventable?
Right, and that's why I was,
So-
what I'm kind of trying to, cause those are the guys in the field doing these little reports.
I think we circle this a lot. It really comes down to like, we have gone how many times educating customers, like, has to go nonstop, and it's still like, you'll get a heat spell and temperature change, everyone turns their water off. It's just like something like, it's almost out of our control, and to really have it where, how it's set up, so we have key pieces of infrastructure within our canal system that they check and they monitor and they adjust. That's kind of where our tracking is there. To have them have it where each day would be like these they already do, like, if there's a problem, they fix it and they track it. But to have it where you have an overflow here, we need to track down. I mean, most of the times they'll know why, you know, they'll have a plug or something in the canal or something. If typically when they have an overflow at one of the lakes is when a lot of people are turning their water off. That's typically what we would see. And we almost try to anticipate it because it's so normal to us, because we know people turn their water off. We try to anticipate the best we can, like watch these, you know, lower the flows when temperature.
There would be something to educate them that they don't do that.
I mean, yeah, we do.
I mean, that's what I was thinking is you've got certain situations that on certain legs. Can we educate that leg differently than other legs
You
or
could,
zones
yeah.
or whatever to get them to realize, you know, there is an effect of what they're doing. I mean, they may not care, but
Yeah.
hopefully they do care.
I mean, we could just do like targeted, because we know how much we spend per canal. We know how much that is. We know how much hours it takes. So we could just target each route and just do a specific mailer that says, hey, you know.
Which ones are the worst?
I'm looking at my board report from November. So one of the most hours is the Kelsey Ditch, but that's the longest segment. That's 622 hours. Cherry Acres, Pilot Hill Ditch, 339. Main Ditch 2, which is kind of Slager Mine down, that's 241. Cherry Acres Ditch, 248. So it varies, but you look at the November report, it has it all
Yeah,
detailed.
well,
there.
like every once in a while, if I'm not getting my water, I run up to the end of Cherry Acres. And 9 times out of 10, once you guys installed that one, barrier in there that's kind of screens the goop, so it don't hit the boxes. Sometimes I'll go up there and that thing's plugged.
Yeah, so that happens.
And I go up there and I just clean it out, and then I try to set my box so it's correct. And sometimes your box gets plugged up too.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's dynamic for sure.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, it's an open canal, probably.
Go ahead.
So.
Steve, Donna, you came up with a great idea a couple, 3-4 months ago about putting a flyer in the bill for these people to let them know to keep their water running 24 hours a day. You know, notification. And isn't that easy? It's only 351 people that are on ditch.
Yeah.
Irrigation.
I mean, that's like, check that box, but now I'm trying to think, if we do that, then it's like, do we need to drill it down to the different legs? Maybe need to have specific information, because each one has a different set of dynamics. I don't know, that was just an idea.
Customers just need to know. You can't, you gotta leave it alone.
I wonder if it's possible to help the individual irrigators to know how to spill the water safely in order to keep it running and not cause the ditch to overflow. And I don't know, but
On their personal property is what you're.
yeah,
saying.
I'm just wondering if there's a way to educate individuals that, gee, you could spill the water this way and not have, then it's not the PUD ditch spill, overflowing and.
Yeah.
Seems like that would be cheaper than. I really don't know.
Drone?
Yeah, we have a drone, don't we?
Yeah. Is it capable of dropping eggs?
Yes, go ahead.
I mean, this is all a factor of keeping the ditches flowing and the manpower and the time that has to be put into it. But eventually, if those costs keep going up, the rate increase is gonna happen. And I think that is a factor that needs to be put into any kind of notice as well. Help
Right.
keep our prices down, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. So I think when we send out the initial bill, we could put a little note in the initial bill to make sure that that's something that we, reference is to make sure you have your water on 24/7. When the irrigation season starts, you need to run it all the time. So there is a note section on the bill that we can add that.
Well, that was what was gonna go out,
Which I'm saying,
yeah.
we
And
can
like
continue to do that.
like a 11 or a 10, 11 or 12 font.
Oh, I would do it like 6.
6.
Six.
Nobody can read, yeah,
And gray.
yeah,
Gray.
that's it, the
We'll
grade.
make it white. We'll make it white, so
Yeah.
then everybody can see it.
Okay, anything else?
Do I have something? Are we,
For the continuous use of it.
I don't know, I guess.
no, I don't have anything for that.
To action items. Review of current and future water seasons.
So this is the time where we would like to receive the committees and the public's input on a potential water season. So last year we ran June 1st to October 31st, excuse me. That was our season last year, and that a lot of that had to do with maintenance that we were now able to get water to customers. This year, we don't have that problem. We definitely are able to open up the ditches May 1st and then end September 30th. That would be a typical year. That is what we're recommending as a staff, but we would like to hear from the committee and the public. Some of the reasons why we would like to do that is last year, we actually probably missed out on some spill water that could have been delivered to people. And we ended up drawing down the reservoir a little bit more than we needed, even though we didn't draw it down that far. But if we are starting May 1st, then we can capture a little bit more spill water into the irrigation system. Furthermore, if you look at typical fire season that ends, end of September, beginning of October, so we would still run through the fire season. I know that was an issue a couple of years ago with the mosquito fire and wanting to turn things back on and leave it on to the end. So I think when we, as a district, turned the water off in September 1st, we did run into an issue of a very dry dry fall. And if we can continue to keep it on through the 30th, then we shouldn't have those same dry conditions. So I'll open it up to Mr. Griffiths and the committee.
Can you go on one more and discuss what happened at the end?
Oh, sorry. So I didn't understand what you're saying. So last year when we had the June 1st to November 30th season, excuse me, October 30th, I apologize. Thank you. I don't know why my brain doesn't want me to remember that. People started turning off their water on October 15th and stopped taking water into the system. And so we actually had to really work hard to shut the system down earlier than we did last year. So again, there's a lot of factors in why we recommend May 1st. But those are a number of them. So Mr. Griffiths?
Yes.
At the last meeting, we passed, I think it was you to go to the fire, representatives and find out if they had an opinion one way or another.
Yeah, the, meeting is last month got canceled, but there's actually one tomorrow. That's for Garden Valley, but I can ask around there.
So we don't have an answer.
I don't know.
So the fire, they're typically not gonna have an opinion because they're not using the raw water, they're using treated water. They're using treated water.
They're
fire.
dipping in ponds when there's a fire.
That would be CAL FIRE.
Okay, well then, talking to Cal.
There's a representative there.
That's what I'm just saying, that we, last meeting, we said, please look into that.
Yeah, well, I understand. So I would say if you went to September 30th, then that would be the fire season and they would be okay with us keeping stuff on through September 30th. Going into October, if you looked at last year, that's when we started to get some rains and some cooler temperatures, so it wasn't as fire heavy.
So can we get that information, at least to come to the board meeting, so we have that for making a final decision?
We will do the best we can to find a representative. I will stop by the CAL FIRE office and see if they have anybody that I can talk to.
Thank you.
Okay,
Hey, this is Chris Campbell. Can I jump in here really quick?
please.
Yeah, I concur with the recommendation for the May 1st start for all the previous reasons I've stated in the prior irrigation committee meeting from last month. It's, it's really, again, I'm at the bottom end of the system. May 1st start is preferred. A June 1st start is not as terrible in terms of irrigated pasture production to support a cattle herd. So I definitely concur with the current recommendation for a May 1st start. Over.
Can I ask him a question? How do you feel about May 15th?
If we had to push it to there to be flexible, sure, but I realize that I'm at the end of the bottom end of the system, but that would be May 15th is preferred over June 1st, right? So if there had to be a little give and take, great, but
Okay,
I definitely wouldn't want it to go beyond May 15th.
okay,
I would say we could do May 1st, May 8th, May 15th, any of those would probably fit. They would just correspond to whatever day in October that would be the corresponding day. So October 8th, October 15th, stuff like that.
Are those Mondays or? is that-
Other Wednesdays, I mean, we could make it a Monday, but I'm just
You can
using
make it the first through any of those days, any of those 14 days.
theoretically, yes.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to speak to that also.
Please.
Ben Scott.
Ben Scott, been working for the community since 70, worked with CDF 37 years and Forest Service for 5. I sent this in, somebody asked me in the water district to send in a letter about when I'd like it. Of course, mine's May 15th. So I just want to bring a little statistics of why I prefer May 15th. I'm gonna give this to you.
Oh, you do.
That was the original letter. Basically, like the man stated before, for cattle production, for, Mother's Day in the past has been a standard time when you start your gardens and stuff like that. And that's all about the 15th of the month. Basically, I went back 8 years, and I could have went back farther. When it starts getting warmer in May, and from 2016 to 23, only 21 was really the really bad year that it started to be hot all the time. And you mentioned Alex.
That was me. Oh,
Adam.
Adam.
One of the A's over there.
And this year we might have another warm season too, so that'd be a second season. I just put them little thing around them, so you could see the dates and stuff. My main concern is being with CDF, our top 20 deadliest California wildfires, 15% of them has been in October or burn into October. And the top 20 most destructive California wildfires, 25% is started in October or been in or burn into October. And going back some years, from 17 to 23, of fires that have burned 10 acres or more in October. 17 had 19%, 18, 13%, 19, 26. 2020, 12, 6 in 2021, 3% in 2022. 2023, 18%, for an average of about 13%. Per year that we have fires that burn into October or in October. And then this just shows again, October, the second half of October basically is cooler than the first half of October. But we do, of course, kind of think this all the time, so basically, that's my spiel. Really like the water to go into October for the first 2 weeks. We usually have some rain in the 1st of October, sometimes late September, sometimes, of course, it changes. We've had it sometimes into November. So I'm just stating on some of the reasons that I prefer the 15th, and we're having 2 weeks into October for some extra water available.
Ben, remember the Trailhead Fire 2016? It was just right down here at Bottle Hill.
Yeah.
And off of American Road. That was in July.
Yes,
Remember that one? That was scary.
there's been a lot scary. I fought for 37 years, so
Thank you for your service and keeping us safe.
no problem on that. You had a question?
Did you get a hold of Mitch? Were you the one who contacted?
Mitch, I knew Mitch from church, so,
Okay, because I have a text that I was supposed to read because of you, and I have your previous letter here.
it was a real brief letter, so I just wanted to add.
No,
That's
that's great.
something
I
too,
just
so.
want, it cuts my workload down.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, you would prefer May 15th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the extra 2 weeks of water. Fire season, because it's a little bit later now,
Good point.
more than in 1910.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll make a request. I fully understand that we've got to balance out all different parts of agriculture and complete respect for the hay people, and there's no perfect answer. For the vineyards, May 15th is good, but we've always farmed with May 1st. I understand too that we get more water perhaps if we start on May 1st, and there's a whole bunch of things to balance into the equation. But for the viticulture, starting a little bit later and having the water over our harvest, which is different from the harvest for the hay, of course, it's good for us. But we have found historically with the May 1st date.
So you're saying you want May 1st or May 15th?
May 15th would be slightly better for viticulture,
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
because we harvest in end of October. We usually finish harvest by October 30th. This year we finished harvest November 5th. Last year we finished harvest November 12th, 14th, but that was the latest year that anybody has ever heard of us finishing harvest. Historically, our cutoff date is Halloween and we're done. So it's nice to have that water for the grapes during October.
Yeah.
So we received 3 letters from the same person, and Vicky, and I don't want to abuse her last name, it's Nakabay. ASHI, yes. And her recommendation is May 1st.
But you know, as we go along here, you know, we don't really have to make a decision now.
Well, we would like a recommendation to send to the board.
As we go along, if we get late rains to where,
We have to make a decision at the board meeting on April 4th.
Yes.
So that is the cutoff. This is the
Really?
last time you will have input on this.
really,
Yes.
That's why you're giving, this is why we're here to.
I
have
go
your
with the
express-
15th.
So, we do have a
Stretch it
comment
out.
from Ray Paul, and I.
Yeah, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, so it's a happy compromise for everybody, so, May 15th is a good date. I think one of the things we're running into as far as irrigation is we have to look back and why is there irrigation? There's irrigation because of peaches and apples and cattle and hay, which is, what the whole divide was years and years ago. Now we're trying to also satisfy property owners that are, ornamental, lawns and, and some pets. But I think we have to keep our priority as the people that are trying to make a living, and they need the water to make that living, whether it be growing apples or raising cattle. So May 15th is a good compromise because it gives us that little bit longer. I know we had a lot of discussion last year in regards to having it on longer because of the fires, and then the fire came and nobody realized it. The ditch got shut off. So the fact that we kept it on longer for people to try and fight the fire didn't happen because we didn't understand. Yes, we were able to keep the grounds, wetter than normal because we had the water. So I guess, when I circle back around here, I think May 15th is a good compromise.
And so there is a compromise between the two. I think we could also make May 8th work, and however that fits into the metric as well. So you have a couple different dates that you could start. May 8th, but also 1st is a Wednesday, the 15th is a Wednesday, and so the 8th would be the Wednesday in the middle.
Well, what I heard last year was the compromise, well, I think the compromise is either if it's gonna be May 1st or June 1st, and June 1st what we did last time, so May 15th is a compromise, and what I heard last year was that people wanted, they were fine. Everybody actually was fine with the 15th. They didn't like June 1st. Some people didn't like it, some people did, but from what I heard and read, what the people commenting on it is, I think 15th is the solution.
I was just trying to give more options for everybody. Maybe that's good
Yes.
for better or for worse.
So you were trying to make a sub-compromise.
A sub-compromise.
And I was on it. Oh, no, you don't.
That's the whole thing.
Go ahead.
I like tying it into the beginning of the growing season for this area, which is generally Mother's Day, which, is a May 8th, 10th, 12th, whatever, which is. I think
Mother's Day should be the 12th this year.
And so the 10th is a Friday. But you said the day of week doesn't make any difference.
I mean, typically not,
I
but
think what sometimes what we have is like last year, it's hard, sometimes we have, and it's really hard to predict anyways, with just precipitation as we get. It's hard to do because we have a short construction window already. So if we get too late in October, it really limits that construction. So I think that's why with our water supply, how it is this year and that construction, that's why, we're leaning towards the first part of May, which, would be a compromise. I think that would be the 8th then for us. Like what Nick was saying.
So between the 8th and the 15th, the 10th sounds good.
It's a Friday, so I mean, we should always be going. Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their. I'm just trying to make the operations.
Yeah. And then the re-education of the people.
And that,
Yeah.
doesn't it take a few weeks to get everything
Yeah.
ready to go,
Mhm.
the water flowing and before it's being
Yeah.
used?
Yeah.
So you got to start spilling May 1st or it's 15th, right?
yeah, typically. So I think what we would
Start May 15th was the last day.
October 15th.
15th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it'd be a Tuesday. I think it ends on a Tuesday.
That's Tuesday, yeah.
So I think what staff would like is if the committee would like to make a recommendation to the board, I think that would weigh in pretty heavily onto their final decision, which will be made April 4th. I mean, you've heard May 1st, May 15th, there's some other dates in there, so anybody's open to make a motion to pick one of those days.
I'll make a motion, we start May 15th. There's a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it. Okay. I'll second it.
Unfortunately, thank you, Mr. Paul. Unfortunately, you're not. the second you're
That
looking
wasn't
for.
an option.
Oh, well.
Discussion surrounding no second on that?
Well,
I
you-
don't feel like I should.
Oh, because.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on.
You
Why
can,
Why not?
so everybody here is a customer. all the committee members are customers, so you all have the same,
Okay.
yeah, so it wouldn't.
And it's a suggestion anyway. You guys are gonna come up with, this is just it. Yeah, so I'll second it.
Okay, right on. Moved and seconded to start the irrigation.
So you have to take a vote, please.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
You sound like you were moving on, so
No,
sorry.
no, not yet. Moved and seconded to start the irrigation. This is a recommendation to the board, because the board ultimately makes the decision.
Right.
But
What do you mean?
the irrigation committee recommendation is to start on the May 15th. Right?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's only three of, well,
I did.
okay, go for it. So
So
that's
is
the
it four to-
recommendation
Are
to the
you voting
board.
aye too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
an aye too.
So 4-0.
I personally, I don't care, whatever. Get it going. Anyway, that's the recommendation.
care.
Now it's in the board's lap and
Mr. Campbell, I'm gonna open an invitation to you again. We have an opening on the committee that we'd love to have you.
Okay, I will just comment that I'm a lessee of the property that's being serviced and my house is up the hill and I'm technically outside the jurisdiction. So if you're, accommodating of people that are just outside that are using the property that's being serviced, then we can potentially talk about it.
Send me an email and we'll talk.
Okay, and yeah, I'd like to, and two, with the motion that's being made, it'd be great to see the, for bullets X, Y, and Z, here's our recommendation supported by, X, Y, and Z. So it'd be good that that's clearly defined when it's being presented to the board.
Yeah, it'll be in the April 4th board meeting. We have a
And then-
whole packet that we put together.
Yep, and then this also then speaks to just more importance on understanding the customer base, putting that, having that, having a, I don't know, a database of your customers, who's got using what water for what, it'd be good. I don't know what traction there is going to be on that in the future, but I just, this, we kind of go back and forth about, who's being serviced and the need and the demand and fire is being now introduced into this as part of the season, adjusting the season. So it'd be good to, some form of a database to help support the justification for each time we have to go through this. Be good. So it's just my final comment. I got a cow to pick up from the vet. So
April 4th, 2 p.m.
yep, thank you.
Okay.
okay. Irrigation committee member comments and reports. Anyone have any comments or reports?
I have something actually.
Please.
I got an email from the Eldorado One Grape Growers and there's a group doing, David's Engineering is doing a research on water usage in this area. Do you guys know about that? Nope. I will just forward the email to you.
There's somebody, maybe it's.
They contacted us to see what water we used and if we'd be interested. And I said, don't know, send me some information. David's Engineering has got an excellent reputation. We use them in the valley. And I think it's great if we have more customers up here, and maybe they will expand, I don't know. So, but I'll forward the email to you guys that you can have a look into it because they're probably looking over a whole bunch of different districts, but may as well know what's going on. I guess that's the main appropriate section. I just forgot about it till then, honestly, so that was it.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, agenda items for the next irrigation committee meeting. I hear nothing. Next meeting date and adjournment, irrigation committee set the third Tuesday of each month for a regular committee meeting during the irrigation season. And as needed or directed by the board, the next regular irrigation committee meeting will be on April 16th, 2024. For that. The end of, pardon me?
You to vote to adjourn.
Yes.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you.
That was short and sweet.
Yeah.